Spider-Man Far From Home was so good. Welcome to Elementary Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing a book series that is beloved to a lot of different people. And that series and specific book is The Berenstain Bears. The Berenstain Bears.
Berenstain Bears?
Berenstain Bears.
This book is called Trick or Treat. It's by Stan and Jan, the man and woman's Berenstain. Because that's how I'm going to pronounce it. Because that's how I learned it as a kid. And it makes more sense to me to say Berenstain. If you really want to go down a rabbit hole, there's a conspiracy theory that says that the last name is spelled differently than it really is. And it's a really interesting Reddit read. So, something called the Mandela Effect. Have fun with that one. This book is brought to you by Barry Beck, who owned this book before me. Thanks for looking out for 6-year-old Kenyon. He really enjoyed the book. In this series, you have Brother Bear, who's the chaotic neutral of the group. He's super down to just get into trouble. He kind of, tries to do the right thing most of the time. Brother Bear, supposedly, in this book series is 10. And it makes a lot of sense because I see a lot of the decisions that he makes is what a 5th grader would do. And I would know. I'm like a professional. Sister Bear is a pretty interesting character. She's supposed to be, I think, in 3rd or 2nd grade. She asks a lot of clarifying questions, which 2nd graders are prone to do. They always got to ask you again and again what a thing is. You've got Mama Bear, who I'm pretty sure brought polka dots into style in the 80s and 90s, because she wears the same thing in every book. We have Papa Bear, who doesn't do a whole lot of parenting. He's just kind of there for one-liners. So it reminds me kind of like a sitcom from the 90s of that nuclear family that everyone's looking for. It makes for some interesting banter and good lessons to be learned. So the plot of this book is very interesting. In the beginning of the book, you have Mama Bear, who's just walking down the lane. She just got some groceries, and she has probably the best look on the face of a character in this book. And she's just minding her own lane. She's just going down her own lane and having a great time, just walking with some groceries. She's just having a good old time. It's Halloween, so Brother Bear has this costume, and he's got this mask. And every time I saw this mask in this book, I laughed. Because if you've ever met somebody over the age of 22, this is how they feel on the inside. His mask is supposed to be some sort of spooky monster. Spooky. And it looks okay. I mean, Sister Bear's costume's not very good at all, so it's just a ballerina. Which is fine. So the lessons in these books can be kind of summed up in a few different ways. Basically, at the beginning of every Berenstain Bears book, they kind of throw the lesson in your face. And then they circle back to tell you the lesson right at the end again. Which makes for some pretty good storytelling. There's a really good close-up shot of Mama Bear, and she's got the candy on the counter, and she's explaining the lesson to Sister Bear, who has to ask 17 times what the lesson is. She doesn't understand our big people words. Her face when she's looking at Brother Bear about to touch the candy. It's great. Mama Bear's got the best faces in this book. Brother Bear and Sister Bear want to go trick-or-treating on their own this time. And Papa Bear, out of all people, is like, I don't know about that one. Not so sure. And Mama Bear's all for it as long as they stick to their neighborhood. It's a good thing that she's letting them be independent because, who else is going to do that? Right? I'm not sure. So, Brother Bear's got this map of the neighborhood, and he's like, we're sticking to this route, but we're not going to this one specific house. And Miss... what's her name? Miss McGrizz. Brother Bear points at Miss McGrizz's house and is like, yo, we're not going to this house. And Mama Bear's like, why? And he's like, Miss McGrizz? Yeah, she's a witch.
A witch! Not a witch! We've got a witch!
So then Brother Bear and Sister Bear's friends show up to take them trick-or-treating. As they walk off of the doorway to their house, you always have, the kids are getting in trouble in these books. And this time you have Too Tall, which is just a bear who's really tall. I guess he's the same age as them. And they call it Too Tall in the gang. I like Too Tall. I think he's got some good ideas. So he's like, we're going to show you the real Halloween fun. For safety reasons, I don't condone any of the behavior that they're about to do. Which they don't end up doing anyways. But basically, Too Tall takes him to Miss McGrizz's house. And is like, hey, let's TP your house and put honey on her broom. And if you see the picture of the kid with the honey, it's super weird. I didn't read the honey part at first. It was really out of context. I'm like, what is that guy gonna do with this honey? That reminds me of a time I tried to April Fool's my mom. She's way better than I am at doing April Fool pranks. But I think I was like in 4th grade, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get her good. So I got a thing of honey, and the purse that she was using, I just put honey in every part of the purse, which I thought would be funny. She wasn't amused. Like. And then basically what happens is you've got Miss McGrizz basically just like opens the door using her witch magic. She probably follows Voldemort. She's got the dark mark on her arm. Watch out, kids. Watch out for Miss McGrizz. Invites these kids inside of her house, which, I'd be running away screaming if, she popped open the door and knew we were out there ready to trash her house. I know what I would do in that situation. And I wouldn't just go into her house, because that's how scary movies start. And so they go in, and it's not even worth it because she just has apples. But they think they're really cool. So they're like, oh, thanks, Miss McGrizz. Even though Miss McGrizz sells the most evil look painted on her face. So then they leave Lord Voldemort's house, go back home, and then we gotta do that full circle, here's the lesson sort of spiel. Sister Bear is like, oh yeah, maybe you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, Dad. Which is what the real theme of this book should be. So the artwork in this book is really, really well done. Stan and Jan, the mans and womans, they're great cartoonists. They use a lot of really good color. They know what they're doing. I've never gone back and looked at the first book. I'm assuming this is probably one that's dead in the middle of their series. They know what they're doing. They have some great drawings. They built their own little world in these books, and it looks awesome. It looks really good. In this book, the scary parts actually look pretty scary. I remember as a kid reading this book, thinking that Miss McGrizz's house is someplace that I wouldn't want to go. Even if she was like, here kiddos, here's an apple. They make it look really, really intense and dark and intimidating. And then my favorite page in this book is, at least artistically, is when Papa Bear's holding his pumpkin. And we get to see just all these different colors, all this backdrop of their room, and how they use lighting in the scene to make it look, maybe not scary, it looks really cool. This is the part of the show where I give my nitpicks, because honestly this is a good book, but here's the couple things I had issues with. Number 1, that's their haul, that much candy, and half of it's fruit. Me and my friends are getting trash bags full, and going home, and putting it in our closets. I mean, my mom would steal most of my candy anyways, but we got way more. Just saying. Number 2, who makes a map to go trick-or-treating? If you need to make a map to go trick-or-treating, then you don't know your neighborhood well enough to be 10 years old and trick-or-treating by yourself. If you don't know all the back streets and every house that has the good candy at this point, then you shouldn't be allowed to go by yourself. Especially if you're taking your 2nd grade sister along with you. That's just irresponsible. All in all, I feel like I would give this book, it's got to be at least a 4 out of 5 stars, because the artwork's really good. There's a lot of funny moments, especially because of the artwork, that make it better. And the story is something that every kid can relate to, because 99% of kids go out to trick-or-treat, and they don't always stick to the agenda, and they do other things other than trick-or-treating. The lesson here is don't judge a book by its cover. And that's where this book falls short, because it doesn't really convey the message very well, because Ms. McGrizz is in the book for 2 seconds, and we don't know if she's not a witch or not. But everything else, all the story leading up to it, the story after, is really good. So, 4 to 5 stars. You can follow me on Goodreads. The link will be on my face somewhere. Who knows? Or my name will be on there. Go to that page. There's a picture of my cat on there. If you want to, tell me what book to review next. I prefer not to just do Berenstain Bears. I'd want to go, do something else. I'm trying to do kids books, intermediate books, and then middle school books. So I'd like to have a wide range of stuff in the library. I'll leave you with one passing note. She's a witch.
How do you know she is a witch?
She looks like one.